Let us continue. This slide shows the Capricorn conjunction opposed the U.S. conceptional Sun, Jupiter, and Venus. The Capricorn conjunction this February will have a number of effects on the United States. The planets of February 23, 1988 will oppose the U.S. conceptional Sun, Jupiter, and Venus in Cancer, much as they did in late 1929 when they helped trigger the Depression. But this time they will have a greater impact. This slide shows the Capricorn conjunction square the U.S. conceptional midheaven and the solar eclipse at 29 degrees Virgo. Further, the conjunction of Saturn, Uranus, Mars, and Neptune in the early degrees of Capricorn in February of '88 will square the U.S. midheaven at 1 degree Libra and the eclipse point at 29 degrees Virgo, and trigger the second leg of the stock market crash of October 1987. The Uranus-Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees Capricorn, which occurs as part of the larger conjunction, is particularly important. It makes a very tight square to the U.S. midheaven at 1 degree Libra and the ghost of the eclipse. A Saturn-Uranus conjunction can trigger major upheaval in the political, social, and economic affairs of the nations, even without any of the complicating and amplifying factors in this configuration. As I pointed out earlier, it is a primary indicator of war. This is the first of several cycles that link economic catastrophe to war. If you'll read my book on Nostradamus and Saint Germain on prophecy, you will see how in the Nostradamus quatrains there is a linking also of war with economic turmoil. This slide shows a T-square. The Federal Reserve System's Sun conjoined the Capricorn stellium opposed to the Fed's Pluto square the solar eclipse. The Federal Reserve System is also powerfully influenced by the Capricorn stellium, which is this grouping of planets that we have been discussing, and by the eclipse at the Sun at 29 degrees Virgo. In this chart, the Capricorn conjunction and eclipse are on the middle ring, and the Fed's chart is on the inner ring. You can see the Capricorn conjunction on the right side of the chart, making a conjunction with the Fed's Sun in Capricorn, opposed to its Pluto in Cancer, highlighted by the red arrow on the upper left-hand part of the chart. All square to the eclipse of the Sun depicted as the black circle near the bottom of the chart. These planets form a right triangle in space known as a T-square. T-squares are particularly dynamic configurations. This one indicates that the Federal Reserve System has been acting and will probably continue to act in a manner that is harmful to the nation and ultimately harmful to itself, even though what the Fed is doing may be of immediate value to those who created it, the financial and industrial powers of this nation. In fact, the records now show that one cause of the recent crash was the Fed's tight money policy. With this heavy Capricorn influence, we can expect them to follow a generally deflationary policy, with the exception of the period between May and December of '88, when Saturn and Uranus will retrograde back into Sagittarius. This may cause the Fed to try to pump up the economy, probably in response to another scare. Once the market starts down on the second leg, the big drop in the market is likely to come around November 13th, 1989, when Saturn makes an exact conjunction to Neptune at 10 degrees Capricorn, which you can see on the left of this slide, and both make an exact opposition to Jupiter at 10 degrees Cancer at the right. In addition, these planets will also square the U.S. conceptional Saturn at the top of the chart, forming a T-square. I've isolated the planets so that you can see the symmetry of the aspect, particularly the fact that Saturn, which represents the federal government and the Constitution, is the focal point of the T-square. This is another indication that the government and the Constitution that gave it life could be strained to the point of collapse by national and international karma coming to bear upon the people. If the individual citizen of the United States does not collapse under this weight, if one by one, each one of us raises up the light and uses that violet flame cassette I'm going to send every one of you with all the words on it, uses that every day and transmutes this, you will see a mitigation, if not a total setting aside of anything that will occur in the physical octave. It doesn't mean that the karma is turned back. It means it didn't get to the crystallization. It means it will have been transmuted at the etheric, mental, or astral level before it ever manifested. The same thing that you can do individually and for your families and your children, we can do for the nation. And if we can do it for a nation, we could do it for a world. There are many keepers of the flame throughout this world, including behind the Iron Curtain, who are giving the violet flame daily and who will also be receiving this cassette. It is a worldwide effort to saturate planet Earth with a violet flame. And what I'm telling you tonight is exactly why it is so necessary and so important that we all receive this message, run with it, and take action. This opposition will affect much more than the stock market. It will be a critical factor in triggering major debt liquidation and could lead to the dissolution of much of the Western banking system. It could precipitate an economic crisis so severe as to lead to the dissolution of the United States government or provoke revolution. Saint Germain said at the beginning of the decade in February of 1980 in a dictation, "There are some economists in America who have seen the dangers for years. They wonder why the collapse has not already occurred. I will tell you, my beloved, a little violet flame goes a long, long way. Legions of light multiply your calls to the violet flame hour by hour and apply the sacred alchemy of the law of transmutation to the problems of the economy. We repeat that it is in the influx of the sacred fire in an accelerated and rolling momentum of the violet flame invoked by keepers of the flame, as well as in specific calls for the economy, that the answer is given. Indeed, it is possible for you to transcend all of the cycles of your karma in this age, but whatever the calling or the choosing of your soul, remember it cannot be accomplished without the Holy Spirit's gift to you of the violet flame. And truly it is given in this hour, and there is no mantra more necessary to your deliverance and survival, for the violet flame is a physical flame. When you apply the spiritual science and the true path of the balancing of karma to the problems of the economy, to the problems of defense, education, drugs in America, you can make all the difference, for God is no respecter of persons." Saint Germain recently gave in a dictation the sounding of a crystal chime. And he said so long as that chime would continue to chime, there would be opportunity for change on earth. And that chime would continue to chime so long as there was one individual on this planet who was invoking the violet flame. And he said when there ceased to be an individual on the planet who was invoking the violet flame, there would cease to be opportunity for change, and the chime would cease to sound. When I heard that dictation, and as it grew in my heart, and I hear that chime, I said to myself, what are you doing about this? You are not doing enough. And that's when I decided we had to put out violet flame decree and song cassettes and just send them all over the world with the words, and get the violet flame rolling and get keepers of the flame to call for the protection of people who have the knowledge and have the cassettes and have the keepers of the flame lessons, to call to Archangel Michael to protect people so that they will not be distracted from giving those calls daily by the very forces of self-destruction that are in motion on this planet today. So to me, it's very exciting to be able to put in the hands of thousands of people that option to make a daily decision to give the violet flame. But even giving them the cassette and sending it to you free with all the words on it is still not enough. Because if there is a slip twixt the cup and the lip, the individual may skip giving his violet flame decrees. So we have to shepherd, and we have to make the calls to the archangels daily for the protection of the light bearers, that they remember their mission and they remember the importance of that mission. So shepherding and loving and caring for people never ends. You just keep on giving and keep on making the call and reinforcing the best efforts and the best intentions of millions of people so that they don't fall short of that measure. We are going to have an experiment in the violet flame because I'm asking you with this cassette to give the whole thing every day for 33 days. And I'm really excited about this experiment because if tens of thousands of people give that cassette every single day for 33 days, we will have a test. And we will see what happens to the planet in those 33 days and just how much difference tens of thousands of people could make. And if we see it, we will know, and we will know how much more violet flame we need to do better for the next 33 days, and just how much good we have accomplished. So it's a point of measuring, a point of encouragement, a reading, and we say, okay, we did this much, now we're going to take on the impossible. How many more Keepers of the Flame and Violet Flame cassettes are we going to send out to make sure this happens? So before we turn to other subjects, I'd like to make several final points about this Capricorn conjunction. First, the conjunction of February 23 is not the only major grouping of Capricorn planets we will see in the next 12 years. There will be 3 more. For those of you who love to serve and know that the reward for service is more service, there's plenty of opportunities ahead. On December 28, 1989, the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune will all be in Capricorn, with the Sun, Moon, and Mercury making a close conjunction at 5 and 6 degrees Capricorn. This occurs about 6 weeks after the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 10 degrees Capricorn, which is likely to trigger the liquidation of debt and possibly the fall of the U.S. government. Late in December of 1990, there will again be 6 planets in Capricorn: the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. While these planets do not form a conjunction, they will tend to have a depressing effect on the government, the economy, and the people. You know, when you meet people and you have friends or family members who have days that they feel depressed, it's important to know how to help them. And if you know that it's the weight of the times and the weight of the planet, you can go after it. And just to tell someone that this is a planetary thing happening, don't fall into it. You have everything to be elated about in your life, and give people about 10 good reasons to be elated. But people think that depression is a very private thing, and it has to do with their own self-condemnation, which is a perversion of Capricorn, and they're feeling down for any number of reasons: too much sugar or drugs or all kinds of things that people do in their diets, or just the conditions of their body bearing world karma. So when you see people who have problems and you know what the planetary astrology is, you can give them a sense of perspective. This isn't happening to you alone. This is the planetary initiation, and this is how we're going to pass this initiation, and you then give them the violet flame. So the word of encouragement that comes from enlightenment is very important to those around you, and don't forget to give it, because that's what we need in these cycles. On February 6, 1991, Saturn leaves Capricorn and enters Aquarius. This will lighten the load somewhat, but there is still a major Capricorn challenge. Here you can see Capricorn's mega conjunction of January 11, 1994. On this date of January 11, 1994, 7 planets, Mars, Venus, Neptune, the Moon, the Sun, Uranus, and Mercury, in that order, will form a very tight mega conjunction between 17 and 26 degrees Capricorn. What makes this conjunction even more intense is that Saturn, the planet which rules Capricorn, at 28 degrees Aquarius, forms a tight square with Pluto at 27 degrees Scorpio. Under the influence of this conjunction, we could easily experience extreme economic and military challenges. Between now and 1994, when this conjunction occurs, there are a number of powerful indicators of war and economic catastrophe. We have already talked about the Uranus-Saturn war cycle, and I will discuss other configurations that indicate the outbreak of war in just a moment. There are also redundant indications of economic disaster. It is noteworthy that in his book, The Great Depression of 1990, economist Ravi Batra, using well-established U.S. economic cycles, convincingly argues that we are due for a Great Depression in 1990, which will last for 7 years. That, of course, is right in line with our astrological cycles, with the exception that the astrology shows that a depression or severe recession may begin sooner. In addition to war and depression, the mega conjunction may well be the prime component of a series of influences that could produce major earthquakes. Further, we could see the dramatic loss of political liberty in the United States and throughout the world, the establishment of dictatorships, an increase in spy and secret police activity, widespread plagues and famines, the rise and fall of power blocks, and danger from radioactivity, possibly from nuclear wars. This conjunction will not suddenly bring on these negative conditions. Should they appear, they will be the logical manifestation of influences that begin tonight as we are talking, and which have roots in the US and Soviet charts. Before I review one last Capricorn influence, I would like to point out that Capricorn cycles do not have to be negative. They can appear to be negative since they tend to collapse all that is not founded on reality. But if a person or nation has been creating in accordance with the laws of cosmos, a Capricorn influence can be extremely beneficial. It tends to solidify gains and helps with organization, long-term planning, and building in all areas of life. Saint Germain said in 1986, "We must have the physical sounding of the word. This is the purpose of the dynamic decree, as the most efficient and accelerated means of forestalling those things coming upon the earth or the individual as the outplaying of karma." Saint Germain said in 1980, "A half hour to the violet flame in invocation 3 times a day will result in, you know what? A holding of the balance for the earth and your own balance of personal karma. Some of you have come to me for many years in wonder and consternation that you make not further progress on the path, and somehow you have overlooked the universal solvent of the violet flame. Use the violet flame to go beyond yourself, to exceed yourself. It is the law of self-transcendence. See what it can do." With those words, I'd like to introduce you to the great guru of Saint Germain, who is called the Great Divine Director. We have a slide of the Great Divine Director in which you can see him with his powerful light rays and the blue belt that he wears. I'd like to ask you to join me to give the decree to the Great Divine Director, because he is the hierarch who stands in the Aquarian age on the line of Capricorn. It is his causal body and presence that you want to magnetize to yourself. On page 9, we have the decree number 33. The Great Divine Director is known as the Master R. He founded the House of Rakazi, and it was he who carried the flame of freedom, the violet flame, from the altars of Atlantis to safety in the Carpathian foothills. Transylvania is today in Romania. The focus of that flame is there and in other retreats of the Great White Brotherhood, Zadkiel and Holy Amethyst retreat over the Caribbean. There's a focus of it in the Cave of Symbols, Saint Germain's retreat near the Grand Teton. There's a focus of it in Kuan Yin's retreat over Peking, China. There's a focus of the violet flame in the retreat of Arcturus and Victoria over the nation of Angola. The Great Divine Director's retreat, therefore, focuses the violet flame for what is now Eastern Europe. And as you see him on this slide, you can see the power you can develop in your chakras. The third eye chakra, a powerful beacon of light that clears everything that it gazes upon. You can see the tremendous power of his heart chakra. And he has a famous blue belt. And the blue belt he is wearing is like an apron, and it protects all of the lower chakras from any kind of negative energies or bombardment of the density of the planet. You can see the white lightning and the blue flame in his world. This is the power of his aura. He is a great adept. He is a cosmic being. He is the Manu of the 7th root race, which means the lawgiver. And that 7th root race is intended to embody in the Aquarian age under his direction on the continent of South America. And that root race is being held back until world conditions improve. These are new souls coming to evolve and to embody that 7th age and dispensation. As we mentioned last evening, the forerunners and the parents of that root race are suffering abortion through the ignorance of the people of the world in this age, and the millions of life streams who are not here are a part of the alchemy and the ecosystem of the age of Aquarius. So to the heart of the great divine director, we call for the magnificence of that God power of Capricorn to be directed to the absolute God victory of the planet. Let us stand as we give this decree and sing it. The preamble. In the name of the beloved, mighty, victorious presence of God, I am in me, my very own beloved, holy Christ self. Holy Christ selves of all mankind, the beloved great divine director, beloved Anella, the entire spirit of the great white mother and the world mother, element of life, fire, air, water, and earth. I call for divine direction throughout my affairs, the activities of the Summer Lighthouse, the governments of the nations, and all ascended master activities, worlds without end. Beloved mighty, I am presence, beloved legions of light from the heart of God and the great central sun, beloved great divine director, beloved Manu, beloved Guru of Saint Germain, come forth now and place your mighty electronic presence around us. Bathe us in your aura of light. Lock your living light and flame of your 7 chakras into our chakras now. Blaze the full power of the light of God that never fails. Blaze the full power of the light of God that never fails. Blaze the full power of the great central sun magnet. We call for the healing of the planet and the holding of the balance in this Capricorn conjunction beginning this very night. Blaze the full power of the grid of light of the great blue causal body. Blaze the full power of the great blue causal body. Blaze the full power of the great blue causal body of the great divine director and of the entire spirit of the Brave White Brotherhood for the holding of the balance in the earth, in California, in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and all cities, and throughout the planetary body. Let the mighty grid of light of the inner blueprint for planet Earth and her victory in the age of gold come forth now through the great hierarchy of Capricorn. Come forth now, O will of God. Come forth now, O blue lightning of the mind of God, for the breaking up of that old karma and then its transmutation by the violet flame. Therefore, in the holy will of God, in the immaculate concept for planet Earth victory held in the heart of Mother Mary, we decree in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Divine Mother. Amen. Divine Director, come, see me in thy ray, guide me to my home, by thy love I pray. Thy will ever protect my will, thy blessing do so rare, surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Make us one, guard each hour, like the sun's radiant power, let me be ever free, now and for eternity. Thy blue bell protect my world, thy dancing jewels so rare, surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Blessed Master R, you are near not far, flood with light, God's own might, radiant like a star. Thy blue bell protect my world, thy dancing jewels so rare, surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Divine Director dear, give me wisdom pure, that power ever near helps me to endure. Thy blue bell protect my world, thy dazzling jewels so rare, surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Shed thy light on me, come make me whole, banner of the free, mold and shape my soul. Thy blue bell protect my world, thy dazzling jewels so rare, surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Divine Director, come, seal me in thy ray, guide me to my home, by thy love I pray. Thy blue bell protect my world, thy dazzling jewels so rare, surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Make us one, guard each hour, like the sun's radiant power, let me be ever free, now and for eternity. Thy blue bell protect my world, thy dazzling jewels so rare, surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Blessed Master R, you are near not far, flood with light, God's own might, radiant like a star. Thy blue bell protect my world, thy dazzling jewels so rare, surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Divine Director near, give me wisdom pure, thy power ever near helps me to endure. Thy blue bell protect my world, thy dazzling jewels so rare, surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Shed thy light on me, come make me whole, banner of the free, mold and shape my soul.
Thy blue robe protect my world, thy dazzling dew so rare. Surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Divine director, come, seal me in thy ray. Guide me to my home, by thy love I pray. Thy blue robe protect my world, thy dazzling dew so rare. Surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Make us one, guard each hour like the sun's radiant power. Let me be ever free, now and for eternity. Thy blue robe protect my world, thy dazzling dew so rare. Surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Blessed Master our, you are near not far. Flood with light, God's own light, radiant like the star. Thy blue robe protect my world, thy dazzling dew so rare. Surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Divine director dear, give me wisdom pure, thy power ever near, helps me to endure. Thy blue robe protect my world, thy dazzling dew so rare. Surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Shed thy light on me, come make me whole. Banner of the free, mold and shape my soul. Thy blue robe protect my world, thy dazzling dew so rare. Surround my form and adorn with essence of thy prayer. Let us sing it now.